guys, let's see how we can find the mean, median, and mode from this table. All right, we're giving this table 40 to 45. We're giving the marks and the number of students. So the table shows the marks obtained by a group of 70 students in a class test. We have the marks, we have the number of students, we have 40 to 44, 45 to 49, 50 to 54, and so on and so forth. And then we have these various frequencies. So we want to find the mean, the median, and the mode from this. Now, you've seen I've created my table already, because for you to be able to find your mean, your median, and your mode easily, you need to create a table like this. All right. Now, you can see the first column, I wrote class interval. All right, which are these information here. And then we have x, because we need to get our x. And we'll get our x from this class interval. All right. I'm going to get our x from this class interval. And then the frequency. And then fx. Fx is going to help us get our mean. All right. And then the class boundaries. All right. We need our lower class boundary and our upper class boundary. And the cumulative frequency. All right. So now let's go straight to business. Now, how do we get our x here in this column? Now, how do we do that? Now, we have our class intervals here, right? So you say 40 plus 44. That gives you what? 84. Now, 84 divided by 2, that gives you what? 42. All right? So you have the first one as 42. All right? You have the first one as 42. Now, you go to the next one. I say 45 plus 49 divided by 2. Of course, you're going to have what? You're going to have 94. 94 divided by 2 is going to give you what? 47. All right? 47. Now, and so on and so forth. You keep doing it like that. So we're going to have 50 plus 54. That's going to give us 104. 104 divided by 2. That's going to give us 52. All right? Now, the next one, we are going to have what? Now, if you watch very closely, the difference between these numbers is 5. So because 5 plus 42 gives us 47. Now, 5 plus 47 gives us 52. So 5 plus 52, of course, is going to give us 57. And then 5 plus 57 is going to give us what? 62. And 62 plus 5, 5 is going to give us what? 67. All right, so that's how we're going to get our x. So we have 42, 47, 52, 57, 62, and 67. Now let's get our frequency. Now, of course, our frequency was already given to us. So we have 4, 9, 18, 23, 10, and 6. All right, we already have our frequency. Now let's get our fx. Now, for us to get our fx, we're going to multiply f times x. All right, we're going to multiply f times x. So the first one is going to be what? 42, all right, times 4. That gives us what? 168. All right, and we'll keep multiplying it like that. All right, so when we multiply f times x, all right, we'll multiply all these are the values we're going to have. All right, now the first one we're asked to find is our mean. Now we can easily find our mean. But before we find our mean, let's do the class boundaries and the cumulative frequency. All right, now our class boundary, how are we going to get our class boundary? We're going to subtract 0.5 from 40 and add 0.5 to 44. That's how we're going to get our class boundary. That's the lower class boundary and the upper class boundary. So this becomes what? When you subtract 0.5 from this, it becomes what? 39.5 to, you add 0.5 to 44, it becomes 44.5. Now you keep doing the same, all right? Subtract 0.5 from 45, you're going to get 44.5 to add 0.5 to this, you have 49.5. So as you keep going, so by the time we do that, by the time we subtract 0.5 from this and add 0.5 to this is what we're going to have. All right, so these are our class boundaries, the upper and the lower, the upper and the lower. All right, now let's go for the cumulative frequency. Now, how do we get the cumulative frequency? We get the cumulative frequency by adding the frequency cumulatively. All right, so we have 4. All right, so we're going to write 4. And then we have 4 plus 9, that's going to give us 13. We have 13 plus 18, all right, 13 plus 18. Of course, this gives us what? 11 in 1, and then we have what? 31. All right, so we write 31. Now, you add 31 to 23, all right, that gives us what? 54, all right. Then you add 54 to 10, that gives us what? 64. And then you add 64 to 6, That gives us what? 70. So we added them cumulatively. Let me repeat myself. I said you write 4 first, you add 4 now to 9, that gives you 13, 13 to 18, and so on and so forth. Now, what will make you know that you are correct by doing this is that the last number you get for your cumulative frequency is going to be the same with the total frequency. All right. Do not forget they said 70 students. All right. So now, what we're going to do is now we're going to move straight to finding our mean. All right. Now, how do we find our mean? Our mean is what? Our mean is also represented with x bar, which is summation fx over summation f. All right. So this is going to be equal to what? We need to get, okay, before we even do this, we need to get our summation fx and our summation f. All right. So we need to have a total of this. All right, and a total of this. So let's go straight to doing that. So the total of our frequency should give us what? 70. All right, which is summation f. All right. Now let's add all of our fx. So by the time we add our fx, we're going to get 3,860, and by the time we add our f, we're going to get 70. Now let's move straight to finding our mean. So finally, we can find our mean, which is summation fx over summation f, which is going to be 3,860 over what? 70. So that's going to be equal to what? That's going to be equal to 3,860 divided by 70. All right, that's going to give us 55.14. Let's leave it to 2 decimal place. All right, 2 decimal place. So this is 55, sorry, 0.14. All right, so this is our mean. All right, that's our mean. Now let's move further to finding our median. All right, let's move further to finding our median. So how do we find our median? Our median has its own formula. All right, our median has its own formula. Now for you to find the median, all right, the formula is given as LB plus into bracket n over 2 minus CFB over FM multiplied by C. All right, I'm going to explain this formula. Now, this LB is the lower class boundary of the median class. All right, while N is the total frequency divided by 2 minus CFB is the cumulative frequency before the median class. All right, while FM is the frequency of the median class. All right, so even before we can find our median, we will have to find the median class. So let's go straight to finding the median class. All right, now for us to find the median class, we are going to use what? N divided by 2, which is our total frequency. All right, N of 2. All right, we're going to use our total frequency divided by 2, all right, to get the median class. Now, of course, our frequency is even, all right, so we use N over 2. If our frequency was odd, we're going to use N plus 1 over 2. All right, this is what we're going to use. But since our frequency is an even number, 70, we're just going to use this formula. So let's go straight to that. So this becomes what? Now, N, our total frequency is 70 divided by 2. This is going to give us what? 35th. All right? All right, 35th class. All right? So we have 35. All right? So now, how do we do this? How do we find the median class, knowing that it's in the 35th class? Now, you come to your cumulative frequency. You see, that's why your cumulative frequency is very important. You come to your cumulative frequency. Now, you have 35 here. Now, this is 4, 13, 31, 54. Now, you cannot have 35 inside this 31. You would only have your 35 inside this 54. All right? So 35 will be inside this 54. This 31 ends here. All right? This 54 ends here. But inside this 54, you have your 35th class. All right? So automatically, this is going to be our median class. All right? This is going to be our median class. That's going to be our median class. So now let's go straight to finding the median. Now, automatically, the median, all right, is going to be equal to, following the formula, we have the lower class boundary of the median class. This is the median class. What's the lower class boundary? 54.5 plus all into bracket n divided by 2 we've gotten already, which gave us what? 35 minus cumulative frequency before the median class. Now, this is the column for the cumulative frequency. The cumulative frequency before the median class. This is the median class. This is the cumulative frequency of the median class. But the cumulative frequency before the median class is 31. Alright, over FM, which is what? The frequency of the median class. Now, the frequency of the median class is what? 23. So this is over 23 multiplied by this C. Sorry, I forgot to tell you this C. This C is the class size. Alright, this C is the class size. Class size. Now, how do you know the class size? You know the class size through your class interval. Alright, we're going to find out how many numbers do we have between 40 and 44. We have 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Meaning our class size is 5. Alright, meaning our class size is 5 because between 40 and 44 you have 5 numbers. Between 45 and 49 you have 5 numbers, which is consistent throughout. Alright, so our class size is 5. So this is going to be multiplied by 5. Alright, so this is going to be equal to 54.5 plus into bracket 35 minus 1 gives us 4 over 23 multiplied by 5. So let's do the mathematics with my calculator here. So at the end of the day, we're going to have our median to 2 decimal places to be 55.37. Alright, 55.37. That is our median. Alright, so our median is 55.37. Alright, 55.37. Now let's go ahead to find our mode. We found our mean, we found our median. Let's go ahead to find our mode. Alright, so now let's find our mode. The formula for mode is what? Lower class boundary plus what? Lower class boundary of the modal class plus delta 1 over delta 1 plus delta 2 multiplied by C, which is your class size. Alright, LB is the lower class boundary of your modal class plus delta 1 over delta 1 plus delta 2 multiplied by your class size. Alright, now I'm going to explain this. This is the lower class boundary of our modal class. Now, this delta 1 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class before the modal class. Alright, while delta 2 is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class after and the frequency after the modal class. Alright, so we're going to do that together. But before we solve for our mode, we have to find our modal class. Alright, so how do we know our modal class? We know our modal class with the one that has the highest frequency. Alright, so which of these has the highest frequency? Here do we have the highest frequency, which is actually 23. Alright, so it actually means the modal class and the median class are actually the same. So alright, so our modal class is 20 because here we have the highest frequency. So this is our modal class. So simply our mode is going to be equal to what? Lower class boundary, which is what? 54.5 plus now delta 1. Alright, delta 1, like I said, is the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class before it. Alright, so this is the frequency of the modal class, 23. So delta 1 is 23 minus 18. Alright, 23 minus 18 over the same 23 minus 18 plus now delta 2 now is going to be what? The frequency of the modal class, the difference between the frequency of the modal class and the class after it. So 23 minus 10 is what we have here. So this will be 23 minus 10, alright, multiplied by the class size, which is what? 5. So finally, what are we going to have here? Let's take that straight to our calculator. What are we going to have? So when we simplify all of this, alright, we do 54.5 plus this, we're going to have 5 over 5 plus 13 multiplied by 5. We're going to have 55.89. So this is going to be our mode. Alright, so that's how to find your mean, your median, and your mode from this kind of table. Alright, from a class interval table, a frequency distribution table. This is how to find your mean, your median, and your mode. And do not forget to like this video, share this video, and hit the subscribe button. And after you do that, also hit the notification button. And do not forget, Jesus